Hello everyone, this is Fatma Rashad. I'm one of the teacher trainers at the British Council. In this session, we're taking a look at the Teacher Support Program. You're going to learn more about the TSP program. At the end of this session, you'll have better understood the aims of the Teacher Support Program. You'll have learned what to expect during the TSP, understood how the program is divided up, and learned about the components of the program. So let's get started. So the Teacher Support Program aims to build on learning from the CELTA course and develop skills to consistently meet level 1 of the British Council teaching standards. So as you're all fresh off the CELTA course or have little experience after the CELTA, so the aim of the program is to help you develop your teaching skills so that, or the British Council teaching standards, so that you're capable of everything in the classroom. So the outcome of the Teacher Support Program is to successfully complete the program, of course. In order to achieve these aims, or that aim, you have to take some concrete steps over the coming period. So first of all, you need to attend your TSP input sessions weekly. 100% attendance is a requirement in order to successfully complete the TSP program. If for any reason you're not gonna be able to attend the input session, say for example you're very sick or you have an emergency, so you need to inform your line manager, your mentor, and of course the TSP lead. You should meet with your mentors at the start of each term to agree on dates for informal and formal observations, also including pre and post observation meetings. So once you know what levels you're going to be teaching or what classes you're going to be teaching, it's part of your job to meet with your mentor and agree on dates for your informal and the formal observation. And it's better to also schedule the meetings for the pre and post observation. Also, you should check the timetable to schedule peer observations. So as part of the program, you should be observing other experienced teachers. To do that, you need to take a look at the timetable and see slots when you're free. If you find that there's an experienced teacher who's teaching at that time, so you go and ask them if they're ready for you to go into the class. It's very important that you check with them first before you go into the class for peer observations. Usually, experienced teachers would welcome you, they wouldn't have a problem. Just make sure they have a space in their classes because of the COVID restrictions and the number of students in class, so they might not be able to have an extra person or an extra chair in the class if the class is full. Also, it's important to upload all your observation documents and other reflection tasks on your OneNote portfolio. So we're going to talk about that later on in the session. So your OneNote is like your virtual notebook. So this is where you upload all the work or the documents that you use on the TSP. We'll see how it works later on. So how is the program divided up in Egypt? So the duration of the program is a 1-year period, so that is 9 terms. Each term lasts for 5 weeks, and in each term you focus on developing one area of your teaching, which resembles one of the British Council teaching standards. The description of that, what that means. So for example, in term 1, you're focusing on plan and deliver coherent lessons. So this is like lesson planning. You'll find that, for example, term 4 and 5, you focus on subject knowledge, which is an important area of teaching. Term 7 is creating a positive and inclusive learning environment. So in each term, you focus on one teaching skill or one of the British Council teaching standards. Here is a description of the teaching standards. So you'll find that each teaching standard has different competencies. So for example, if we look at engage and motivate learners, it includes establishing needs and goals, responding to learners, meaningful content, teacher role, developing learning autonomy. So all the input or the input sessions that you attend will focus on these areas related to the teaching standard. And also the observation, whether it's a formal or an informal observation, will focus on these areas. That doesn't mean that the observer will not notice or will not give you feedback on the other areas, but the focus will be on these. At the start of each term or each module, an email will be sent and it will include information about these items. So first of all, it will give you information about the focus of the term, whether it's subject knowledge or creating an inclusive learning environment. So it will tell you what the focus of the term is. Also, it will include the insets timetable, so you'll get to know what the topic of the inset is in each week. The mentoring timetable, so you'll get to know who your mentor is. And this is important because once you know who your mentor is, you can easily send them an email or get in touch with them so that you schedule the time for the observation and you agree on everything. You receive peer observation tasks. So the peer observation tasks are like forms where you that you fill out as you're doing the peer observation. So you're not sitting in the class and just watching. You're like answering questions in the peer observation task. Lesson planning documents. So for the formal observation and the informal observations, you're gonna have to fill out lesson planning documents. For the informal observation, they're like not as detailed, but you still need to complete some lesson planning documents for the informal observation. For the formal observation, they're similar to the ones you did on the CELTA. And the self-reflection forms. So this is where you reflect on your lesson. The observations, as we said, or as I said before, there's informal observation and formal observation. So with the informal observation, you have a pre-observation meeting with your mentor, where you talk them through your lesson and what you're planning to do. They give you guidance, of course, but like you can't go to the meeting and tell your mentor, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, or this is the lesson I should be teaching, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna teach it. No, you have to have like an idea in mind, and if you have certain questions, they guide you and they support you in the meeting, but you can't really go to the meeting and tell your mentor, I'm not sure what I'm gonna teach or how I'm gonna teach this. You should have an idea about what you're gonna do. After the pre-observation meeting, you write a bullet-pointed lesson plan. So like it's like a description of what you're gonna do and the stages you're gonna follow. After the lesson, you reflect on your teaching by mentioning areas of strength. So these can be from 3 to 5, for example. and areas for development. So areas you think or things you think you could have done better. You have the post-observation meeting, and here you have like a meeting with your mentor where you tell them about what you think went well, what you could have done better, and they give you feedback on what you did. And then your mentor sends you feedback on the lesson you taught. The informal observation is an opportunity for you to receive feedback without feeling stressed. So do your best in the informal observation so that in the formal observation, you would avoid areas you might be struggling with. With the formal observation, again, you do a pre-observation, you have a pre-observation meeting. You write a detailed lesson plan. This is similar to what you did on the CELTA. So it includes a class profile, lesson aims, anticipated problems and solutions, and the lesson procedure. Also, you complete a Lexis or a language analysis sheet or form. So if you're teaching vocabulary or functional language, you would fill out a Lexis analysis form. If you're teaching grammar, so you would fill out a language analysis form. And then the reflection form. So depending on the focus of the term, you would fill out the reflection form. You have a post-observation meeting, and then the feedback from the mentor, you're sent that after the post-observation meeting. For both the informal observation and the formal observation, make sure that you send the lesson plan 4 hours before the observation. So don't wait until 5 minutes before the lesson and send your mentor everything. Your mentor should have enough time to read through your lesson plan and your Lexis or language analysis sheet if it's a formal observation before the lesson. So sending them everything right before the lesson wouldn't give them the time to see what you're planning to do. Yes, you do have like pre-observation meeting, but again, your mentor needs to see that like enough time before your lesson. As for the self-reflection, you should send that within 40 hours after the lesson. So don't wait for like 3 or 4 days and then send the reflection. It's better that you send it like 24 to 48 hours after the lesson, because if you wait after that, you might forget things that happened or like how the students reacted to different things, your reaction to things that happen in the class. So it's better that you reflect well and in a good time after the lesson. One important component of the teacher support program is your Teams group. So your Teams group is where your TSP insets take place, as you're all you're going to be located in different centers. So the best way in order to communicate with each other and to have the insets together is to have your insets taking place on Teams. Also, your TSP mentors and trainers would usually post pre or post inset readings or tasks. So before the inset, they can send you a task or some reading to do before the inset. Or after the inset, they can send you a video or reading or a project, for example, to work on after the inset. So make sure that you check it regularly. Also, your TSP mentors will send you reminders on there. And you can share ideas with other colleagues or ask questions. I'll show you now what it looks like. So this is the TSP 18 Teams group. So if you look here, the general, this is where the posts are. So I want to show you what it looks like. So if you can see here, we have a meeting scheduled. So this is for one of the insets. So it's scheduled and you just click join once it's time for the meeting to start or the inset to start. You have here announcement by Ayat, for example, and people replying. Here we have some documents. So like it's very important to check like your Teams group for announcements and also before and after your insets. Another important component of the TSP program is your OneNote. This is your virtual library. So you'll find that sometimes your mentors or the TSP lead will add some readings for you, for example, to read. And also it has your online portfolio, so you add everything. It's like your virtual notebook. You add everything on your OneNote, and that's why you need to update it regularly. I'll show you an example of that for one of the previous TSPs. So, okay, sorry. So here we have Basma's OneNote. So you find that it's divided into sections. So here we have insets and readings, winter term, action research, my notes, spring term, and so on. So depending on the item, you add documents or notes to whatever you'd like. So let's take a look at, for example, peer observations. So here we have 4 peer observations. So this is like upper intermediate my class. She added like the name of the teacher, the date, and the focus. And here she added her notes on the observation. So as you can see here. If we look at the observations, so here we have like the example of the informal lesson plan, self-reflection, formal lesson plan, and again the self-reflection. So you upload everything that you do on the TSP on there, all right? Okay. So who you will collaborate with and consult. So first of all, your mentor and your line manager. So these 2 people, you discuss with them your progress after each observation. So that's with your mentor. And with your line manager, you discuss that once a term. So after each observation, as we said, you have a meeting with your mentor and you discuss what you did on the observation. But with your line manager, that happens every term. Your TSP colleagues, you can share with them ideas for lessons and what you learn from what you do in the class and what they do in the class. So you get to learn from each other through conversations. And your buddy. Your buddy is one of the experienced teachers and you can seek their advice whenever you need anything. So for example, if you have a question or something that you're not sure about and you don't know who to ask, so you can just go to your buddy and ask them, and they will be very happy to help you and to support you when you need help. Right. So that brings us to the end of this orientation session. If you have any question, like for now, you can like write them down, and we'll be sharing with you a Google document or a Google Sheet where you can like add your questions, and we'll respond to these in your induction sessions. Thank you very much, and looking forward to meeting you all. Bye.